Okay, if everything worked as it should have, you should have just watched a video that covers the basics of using a mouse. If you get stuck at any time with your mouse, you can ask anyone in the library, any of our staff, and we'd be happy to help you out. We're going to take a look at getting on the internet today. Here at the library, what you'll want to do is look for this icon. An icon is just a picture on your computer, and when you click it, it takes you to a new place or opens up a program. The icon that we're interested in looking at today excuse me, is Internet Explorer. It's the blue E with the sort of ring of fire around it right here. And to open it up, you want to point your arrow right at the E, just like that, and click it twice. You'll have to click it really rapidly, so let me see if I can demonstrate by sound. You want to do it just like 1, 2, like this. It might take some practice to get that done completely, but basically just point at the E, click it twice, and it opens right up. And if you're at the library, the very first page you're going to see is the library's page. This is called the home page. It's the first page that loads when you bring up your internet browser. You can tell it's the library's page because our logo is right here, but you can also look at the very top of the page at what's called the title bar and see Kanawha County Public Library. The title bar will tell you the name of the page that you're on. Some pages won't actually put that in the body of the page, so if you look up at the very top of your screen, you can always tell where you are. Just below your title bar, you've got what's called the address box. You can see it says http kanawhalibrary.org. The address box also indicates where you are, and it's actually the technical address of the page on the internet. So if you punch kanawhalibrary.org into any computer that's connected to the internet in the world, you will get to this page. If you know the name of the website or the address of the website that you want to get to, you'll want to click once in the address box so that this material turns blue. Once it turns blue, that means it's ready for you to give it information, so you can start typing immediately. And we are going to look at www.google.com. When I've entered the address that I want to go to, I can press enter on my keyboard. This is Google, and Google is the most prominent search engine on the internet. If I want to find pages about a particular topic but I don't know the individual addresses, I can use Google to find that information. Right down here we've got a box that's sort of similar to our address box. This is the search box. And it's ready to receive our information. I can tell this because even though I don't have the sort of blue highlighted text, I've got this blinking line called the cursor. Where I see the cursor, it means it's ready for me to start typing. So I am going to look for restaurants in Charleston, West Virginia. And as you can tell, as I'm typing, it anticipates what I'm going to search. So I can just go down here with my mouse, click it one time on the left side, and perform that search. And it found almost 2 million results about restaurants in Charleston, West Virginia. It's only showing me a portion of the page. I can tell this because if I look at the right side, I've got a very dark bar here with a lot of pale space underneath. This is called the scroll bar. And the pale space indicates the portion of the page that I don't see. This page is too big to display at one time in my browser, so if I want to see the rest of it, what I'll need to do is go down here to the very bottom where we've got a little button with an arrow pointing down, and just click it on the left side of my mouse here. That takes me down the page, and you can track your progress by looking at the scroll bar itself. Once we go all the way down, it's going to be right against that button, and no matter what I do as far as clicking it, it's not going to register any action. So if I wanted to go back up, I could do the opposite. Just go up to the top button and click it, and it'll take me back up. If I'm interested in seeing one of these restaurants, what I'll want to do is look for what's called a link. A link is just a way to get from one resource to another, so it's a way to go from your current page to a new page. You'll be able to tell that a link is present because most of them are going to be blue underlined text, just like that. But the absolute most foolproof way to determine a link is just hover over it with your arrow. You'll see the arrow is going to become this pointing hand with the finger right on the link. If I click this on the left side of my mouse one time, it's going to take me to this new page. And it might take a second here if your internet is sort of slow. In the morning we have a lot of people using our system, so it does take a little longer. But it took us to Bluegrass Kitchen. We've got links over here on the bottom. We can tell because that arrow is becoming the pointing finger. We've also got a portion of the page that we're not seeing because we can see the scroll bar here isn't taking up our whole right side, so we'll need to move down the page. As you can tell, these are also links. Even though they're not blue underlined text, when I move over these pictures, it does become the pointing hand. So I could click on these and go to these new websites. If I decide that I want to go back to Google, I can go up here to my top left and press this back arrow, and that takes me back to my search results. One other thing about the internet, depending on the kind of browser that you have, you might have something over here to the right of your address box that says Google. That is a Google search that's actually embedded in your program, so you don't have to go to google.com. You can just punch in what you're looking for right here. Pets, cats, WV. And then press enter, and it'll perform the search for you. And there are 219 million pages about that. So on the newer browsers, this is actually kind of merged with your address box. So if you just punch in what you're looking for in the single box that's on your screen, that will also perform a search. Hopefully this gives you a basic overview of the internet. If you do have any questions, please ask one of our staff members and we'd be happy to try to help you out. Thanks very much.